Hey guys, just doing an update on my Taurus 1911. It's basically the same as in the last video, but I did duracoat and got another part or two in there. Anyways, get some better light here. You can see I duracoated the frame black, and then I polished everything up just a little bit better than it was before. I think the black turned out real nice. It's the matte black. Turned out real even, went on nice. I'm definitely super happy with it. And then for those that haven't seen the other video, I'll go over some of the things I've done with this. Of course, you can see I got the Cocobolo, or Cocobola, something like that. I don't remember exactly how to say it. It's a weird word. But anyways, the Wilson Combat grips. Then I've got the Wilson Combat magazines for it. I think for any 1911, these are a must-have. There are good magazines out there, but I don't think any of them are truly as just like 100% reliable as the Wilson Combats. I've never had any failure to feed with these. Now I've fired somewhere between about 1,500 to 2,000 rounds through the gun. I haven't kept super great track, but been to the range quite a few times with it. And anyways, and then you can see here, this is nothing too special, but I put on those grip screws, ordered those. A little design there, the Torx head style. I like those. They don't round out or anything. If you twist a little too hard with them, they stay nice and snug. And then as far as actual upgrades, though, I've got the Wilson Combat trigger in there, the thumb safety, and then also the beaver tail, the hammer, and then right there, the extractor, and then, can't really, there you go, the firing pin, and then inside here, I replaced the disconnector now, and the sear, and then also I took out the there's the Series 80 firing pin, those two little mechanisms that normally go in there and they push up on that plunger that releases the firing pin. I took all that out and made it similar to a Series 70 or just the older 1911s, the original models, where they don't have that. And you can go to brownells.com, or I think they might have them on a couple others, but I'm not positive. But Brownells is a good place. They have, I think it's called a Series 70 shim. Either way, you could probably just search for a 1911 shim, and it'll bring up what you need. But that's just a part where it fits in place of those two levers that normally the mechanisms that push up on the plunger. And once the plunger's taken out, you can replace those levers in there with the shim, and that just fills in the space so that your sear and everything like that doesn't move back and forth or anything. It'll fill in that space, and then you don't have any it eliminates just a couple moving parts in there, and then as a result of that you get, I think the trigger pull's a lot cleaner. And also, the thing with the trigger pull too is, I mean, Taurus did a decent job with making their parts, and this gun worked really well the first time I took it out before doing a few things to it. But the Wilson Combat parts have made a world of difference. The trigger and the internal parts, like the sear, and then the disconnector, and then also the hammer, because it's got the internal links on it or whatever for where it connects to the sear. But having those parts swapped out with the Wilson Combat, this gun has got a really, really nice trigger pull to it. With the single action, it's almost hard for me to judge the weight of it compared to, because I'm a little more used to the longer pull of my Glocks before, and those had, I mean, I put different parts in those, and they had 2.5 to 3.5 pound trigger pulls, and they were I think they're way stiffer than this feels. I mean, this breaks so clean. It's incredible, I think. And so I would definitely recommend doing those parts. And then also another thing that really kind of just smoothed things up a little bit was just the duracoat job, because the rails in here, you can't really see in there too good, but well, that's just a spot where it exposes the rails in there. But the duracoat finish is so smooth that I don't know, it kind of takes away the friction, I think, of the two flat surface metals that rub together normally. The stainless steel seemed like it had a little bit more friction when the slide went back than the duracoat does. And also the duracoat, it tightened up the slide just a little bit too, not to the point that you'd lose any reliability, but I think marginally will improve accuracy just a little bit, having a little bit tighter tolerances in there and a little less play. So anyways, I would definitely, if you're looking for like a project gun, to be honest, I would recommend buying a Taurus, and you can experiment a little bit with it, try to put on some new parts, trick it out a little bit, do what you want, and if you make a little mistake here and there, I mean, it's still a pretty expensive gun, but it's not like going out and dropping $1,300-$1,400 or something like that on a Colt, and then if you get one scratch on it, you want to hit yourself. So anyways, I know I've probably put more into this than most would condone putting into a Taurus, but after basically doubling the cost of it with all the things I've done to it, I'm fine with it. This gun is just as smooth as really any 1911 I've ever shot. I mean, I haven't shot a ton of them, but at the range I was able to rent a Springfield, and then, gosh, what was it? I think it was a car model. I don't think car makes a lot of 1911s, but they had a model. I'm pretty sure it was a car. It's been well over a year ago that I shot it, but this shoots just as nice, and actually the recoil is a little bit less, because I forgot to mention the Wilson Combat spring set in there. You have a little bit stiffer recoil spring, and then the other springs are fine-tuned a little bit better. And just the overall action of the gun every time you shoot and the slide flies back, it feels smoother, because with that little bit stiffer spring, the slide and the frame aren't nailing each other so hard, when it goes back. And there is a reduction in recoil, that is for sure. I mean, it's not a ton, but you do notice it. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'd be glad to answer them. Thanks. Have a good day.